Don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate yourself. Listen, the story of David has me in a chokehold. Psalms 23 done me. Listen, when you do the history, they're still debating about David's age at the time when Samuel anointed him. Some say that he could have been 10 or 15. And I'm reading, and it says that David's name is mentioned in the Bible over 1,000 times. You see, the children of Israel, they demanded a king and they chose a king. But God came and God said, I'm choosing a man of my heart. And who knew? See, this is where I want somebody to get it, you know. Who knew? Nobody back then knew that this 10 or 15-year-old boy, this 10 or 15-year-old boy, out of every single person that was alive then, out of all the priests and the scroll readers, the pastors of the temples back then, out of all of those people, the Lord chose a young man, a child. Let me say that one more time, a child. You know, I've always been somebody to show respect and honor really and truly to everybody. Like, I have this thing where I always say to people, say, I don't need to dig up anybody kitchen sink or anybody toilet's bowl to love them and to respect them. You know why that thing used to always be in my head and is still in my head? It's because I don't care what evil worker, I don't care what demon is walking around, I don't care which devil worshipper is upon this earth. The truth is, you never know, you and I will never know what the Lord will choose to do with that generation, with that bloodline, with that 15-year-old, with that 10-year-old, with that young man or that young woman. And so because of that, I treat everybody with the love of Christ. I treat everybody with the love of Christ. Because in my belief system is, you see, today that young man might be opening the door, but tomorrow it might be me opening the door for them to walk through. Listen, you never and will never, there's a thing in Christendom that ticks me off. I don't like it. It's where, and I'm not saying don't honor your leaders, don't get me wrong. It's where we tend to treat the pastor maybe 3 stories higher than we treat the woman that cleans the bathroom in church. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it. People of God, stop it. I don't know, you know, but nobody know, but I treat everybody equally. I don't care how many followers you have. I'm not going to jump and shout and scream for you, and because that person have 2 followers, I'm going, no. I treat everybody equally. And this is why I always encourage people, don't you dare give up on yourself. Don't do it. Look at my chest in this video. See that? It's falling up and down. As long as yours is going up and down like mine right now, look. As long as yours is going up and down, God can turn your life around. You listen to me now. When Samuel told Jesse, do you have any more sons? Because God just rejected all of these. And he said, you know what? I have one, but he's keeping the sheep. He did not even call his son by his name, you know. He didn't call his son by, he had no respect for his son. He had no regard for him. How many of us feel like that? But yet God sent and called that person, the person that we believe don't have no money, them not have no status. The person that we believe them not ready. That's who God chose. And that's why I treat everybody equally, you know. Because what the enemy not going to do is trick me into shame. He's not going to trick me into insult. Because you see, when God rise up those people, now I'm gonna be looking like a fool for treating them like they could only stay and die in that position. You never know. Just as how we don't know when death will come knocking at our door. Just as how we don't know when the Lord will decide that my daughter, my son, this will be your last Wednesday morning. Just as how we don't know, we also don't know when the Lord will send his prophet to anoint us into a new life, a new dimension, new possibilities, new blessing. You see, that is the thing, you know. That is the thing why we treat God so lightly. That is the thing why we behave how we behave, you know, because we just don't know. You just don't know whose presence you're entering in right now. You don't know who you're speaking with right now. We don't know who is on the other end of that phone call. We just don't know. And that's the reason why we must always be ready. Be ready for God to use you. Be ready for God to anoint your head with oil. Be ready for your cup to be runneth over. Be ready for you to be the one to pull out your generation. Be ready to be the next David. See, that is the thing, you know. When David, this is my belief. David wasn't sitting around waiting for his father and his brothers to accept him and to love him, or to wait for God to come. He didn't know these things. David didn't know that God would send Samuel. David didn't have any clue, I believe, in the world that he would be. The man of God had 7 bigger brothers. Like, he had no clue in the world that he would be Israel's next king. But what? His heart was being prepared. He served diligently with his sheep. Nobody saw him. Nobody communed with him. Nobody came to check on him. Them shun him off around there. So there are times, you know, when I want to come on this page and I want to come live, and may I say, God, nobody, you know, I'm just Denise. I don't have any title attached to my name. I'm just me. I don't have 100k followers. I don't have it. So nobody pay any mind to me. No, nobody. But you see, in my alone time with God, oh God, He pays every time and every attention to me. So you know what I do? I keep my heart prepared. Daily, I keep my heart prepared. Because you never know when God is gonna come up. When He's gonna show up for you. You never know when your appointed time will come. You never know when the Lord will say, I've rejected them even though they have thousands and millions of followers. I've rejected them even though they pastor a big church. I've rejected them even though they look the part and sound the part. I rejected them even though they have the money and the wealth. I rejected you. Don't God kept rejecting 7 people. God kept on rejecting 7 people. You never know when God will call your name. You never know when your number will ding in the realms of the spirit. People of God, I felt that just now. You never know when God will call for the David spirit out of your belly. You never know. And so I've always said this and I will say it one more time. Love God, not the things of this world. Love God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might, and with all thy strength. Because we never know when he will call on us to lead his people.